Hello, hello. Welcome back to Foreign Takes. I'm your host, YT. Who am I here with today, boys?
You're here with some well-known clowns in the soccer podcast area. Bozo 1 and Bozo 2.
Yeah,
Big Lev speaking right now.
yeah, KG here, and I'm definitely feeling like a bozo after this weekend.
Yeah, my friend. What are we going to cover today, boys?
Dude, an
Premier-
exciting round of Premier League matches. Bangers
Oh.
upon bangers.
Yeah,
Nerve-wracking games. Everything you love football for. Then maybe a little bit of Bundesliga and Serie A, but it wasn't as exciting as what we saw on display today in the English top flight.
Oh,
I will
absolutely.
also cover the Euro draw to see what potential groups might look like, because we have a couple of countries that are still trying to get in there, and then we'll leave some space to discuss VAR, because as me and UIT perfectly predicted, there has been a lot of controversies over this week.
I thought we said no more VAR talk and no more referee talk, okay?
We will keep it at a limit. Maximum 2 minutes, maximum. Otherwise, we'll take 60 whole minutes talking about VAR.
it's gonna
Alright.
All right, let's start with, the game of the weekend. Liverpool 4, Fulham 3. Mr. Big Lev has this big smile. How you feeling, my friend?
Man, fucking, this was football in a nutshell, okay?
Uh-huh.
Everything that makes you frustrated and makes you want to pull your hair out, and everything that makes you, that's why I love the game. That's what makes you excited. Amazing goals. I think almost every goal Liverpool scored was like beautiful.
Yeah.
Fulham goals were like well constructed, but like kind of came out of nowhere. Good to get 3 points. I think for Liverpool it was a very important win, because had they drawn that match, I would be like, I don't think we're competing for the title this year. But they managed to eke it out with like 2 goals after 85th minute. But I think everyone can see that our defense is super shaky. Like Fulham scored these goals out of nowhere. We had like 70% possession, bam, goal, bam, goal. And something has to be done in January, man. We need another center back, especially now Matip is out for probably like some months. Yeah, no, I think it was like he was clutching his knees, so I think it's more.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't think it's good. So
YT can relate. Yeah.
I really can, though, honestly.
Yeah.
But, no, okay. You know what? I have to say this is like, as amazing as the game was, it felt at the end of the game, it felt like the fans and the players felt like they believed this is our year. There was, at the end of a game, you have this sensation. And I was like, oh, okay, Liverpool are here to stay. Like, they are here to compete for the whole year.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be a 3-horse race. And
I think so.
But I still think that come March or April, Liverpool is going to fall off a bit just because of the defense. Like, even if you bring in a defender, it's very rarely that you buy someone in January who slots in perfectly in the team. There are examples, of course, of all those players that came in and changed the team, like Bruno Fernandes in United's case. And it's very limited amount of players who come in January and just like belong. But I think it's a really good foundation for Liverpool to kickstart the competition, and the next year they're definitely going to be in it.
See, I disagree with the fact that like they're gonna fall because of their defense needs work, but also before this round of matches, it was one of like top 2 or top 3 defenses.
Yeah,
in terms
it was
of goals.
just behind Arsenal.
It's very frail. Okay, now that Matip is down, you're like one person away from having to play someone from youth team there.
Yeah.
Especially with Trent now, going up in the midfield. You kind of brought in Joe Gomez there that kind of worked out for this. But I think one of the reasons why Liverpool conceded those goals is because fucking Klopp won't stop playing first team players on Thursday nights.
Yeah.
Because when we conceded the 3rd goal, the forwards were really lethargic and they did not have that, pushing them. Because remember, after that goal, we defended fiercely from the top, and that's why we're able to score the other 2 goals and kind of suffocate Fulham. But at some point, like Nunez, Diaz, and Salah were kind of like phoning it in for a moment, and like just to stop playing these people in Europa League.
It's understandable though, right? Because we keep seeing it. All the teams that play either Wednesday or Thursday, the ones who don't have enough player, Brighton is another like victim of this. Is like they get tired. Like I don't know
Yeah.
what it is about this year. Maybe it was because the Winter World Cup hangover, but you can see how tired they are. And we just hit December, but it's already obvious
Yeah.
across lots of teams.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of injuries as well. Because I feel like when you don't have proper teams and proper injuries, that's what happens if you play Wednesday and Thursday. Teams, they just get knackered. And I think
Yeah.
that plays into the reason. I know we're going to cover United later down the line, but I think they played on Wednesday and they looked a night shift before. So
yeah.
yeah.
I have to say about the midfield, Trent, it's working. Like for the first time, it's because especially when he was on the right side of the midfield, you can see he still understands some of the defensive positioning in order to drop in for Gomez. So on that side, I think it worked really. Attacking, we know he's going to be amazing, but like defensively, I was shocked. There was some understanding that if Gomez pushes it like up a little, like as an overlap, Trent was dropping in a little bit.
Yeah.
So I was like, it actually seems like an experiment that they're going to keep trying. Honestly.
Yeah.
But it works when you actually push him and then add the right back. So in this case, Joe Gomez was a defender, and then he went up. Not when he goes up and there's kind of no one there. Then you have a huge hole. So, like as I was saying at the start of the season, if you want to push him to midfield, but then buy right back.
Yeah.
Because this is kind of sometimes he's there, sometimes not. It's not working.
Yeah. You know what Liverpool should do? They should just get Jeremy Frimpong from Bayer Leverkusen. He has a release clause for 40 million euros in the summer.
I hope Leverkusen doesn't. I hope he doesn't want to leave, dude.
He has a release clause. He's really good, but he has a release clause. So like,
hey, listen, they could be winning the Bundesliga. So why talk about leaving to go to a team that's
in the summer though? So
we'll see.
I mean, Javi Alonso is going to be gone in the summer, anyways.
Yeah,
no, that's a topic for another day. But okay, I think overall though, Big Lev, feeling more and more confident week over week now, for at least to compete for the top, for winning it.
I mean, I was confident last week too. Not more confident after this week. What I am is excited about. I think this is probably one of the best starts to a title race we've seen in years.
Yes.
Where one team didn't just take off, and you actually might have like a 3-horse race. Hopefully that persists.
Yep.
I think that's probably a good time to talk about the other team in this dominating was Man City 3, Spurs 3. Wow, fantastic. I have to say, incredible, right? This was just... what do you even say? This is the Premier League in a nutshell.
Yeah. Are you taking your words back about Tottenham crumbling? Because that did really well for...
You know,
a lot of people.
I am taking my words back, but here's what I will say. As amazing as Spurs did, City let them have some of those goals.
Yeah.
Like the first goal that Son scored, I'm like, dude, Doku, you're literally one of the fastest players in the Premier League. It was some of the worst amateur defending against Son. And also Ederson, how can you let it slip under your hands, bro? That was Onana-esque, like truly.
No.
Onana, what's my name? It's
don't
Ederson.
Go there for Pedersen. Yeah, for Ederson. Don't go like that for Ederson. It's not Onana-esque. You need to try real hard to do it Onana-esque.
It was not great though.
It wasn't great.
Yeah.
Liverpool's reserve goalkeeper also didn't have a great game. No clangers, but like you could see Alisson would have saved one of those.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Tottenham they're still kind of crumbling, like understandably crumbling. Like they had so many injuries, but they still have fight in them. But this could have been their fourth defeat in a row. So
exactly.
They're not doing well. Like let's not say but City also do not look as good as they looked last year. City of last season would have suffocated and murdered Tottenham. Because a lot of City goals came from their pressure and give a ball away stupidly. I don't know why Bissouma is playing every game because he's making a lot of mistakes, man.
He's tired now. He also doesn't have anyone else to play. And a lot of people are giving props to Big Ange for not changing his style. When it works. When he lost 4 games on a bounce, nobody criticized them? Why did nobody criticize him for being, you don't have enough players? How about you chill at the back, score 1 goal and defend and win the game 1-0 because you don't have the players? Nobody's criticizing him then, but
no manager.
It's just, it's not. No. Do you think that not backing down on your style is gonna work for Spurs in general? Because in my opinion, for any coach that doesn't back down, it's gonna fire back.
Not with the injury crisis.
Any coach that's so stubborn is annoying to me. The only coach that's super stubborn but works for him is Guardiola, but because he's just throws money at it until
No,
it
but
just works this way, right? After the third goal, I was like, why are you doing this, man? You see your people are getting like suffocated in their like past Tottenham, like in the Tottenham's midfield. Stop having them try to pass it out. Just fucking hoof it upfield.
yeah,
And that's where like
yeah.
this third goal came from, by them
Yes.
just refusing to like clear it
Did
instead
you
of
guys
trying
think
to
it was
pass it around.
over at 3-2 when Grealish scored? I think it was like 80
I
something
thought
minutes.
I thought it was done. And a team that is fighting for a championship, especially when you're playing such a big game, nobody's gonna question Guardiola, of course, because it's Guardiola and it's City. But a team that's fighting for a title and that's experience, you don't at home 3-2. You don't let it go. You fucking control the ball, pass it around, do your tiki taka Barcelona shit, and then win the game. You don't do it 3-3. Like it's just again, nobody's gonna question Guardiola. Nobody's gonna question Big Ange because it's a draw. But to Bigelow's point, I also disagree that Guardiola, like the reason why the series is not because Guardiola isn't stubborn. It's just he's still creative, so you won't
Yes,
have
I'll
one
give him
style.
that.
He'll cook something else, and sometimes he will overcook, and you will be like, yo, sometimes you just stick to be more stable. I think he figured that out last season. But for Big Ange, it's just there are coaches like that. I think Conte is a good example of that. Conte would just like you run this much training ground, and if you don't, you're out. That doesn't work. It's a short term
Yes.
success, not long term success. But yeah,
I have a question. So obviously, we're not gonna stop hearing about the end of this mistake that from the ref. So for the listeners who haven't watched it, basically, advantage is supposed to have been played. Haaland got fouled. He gets a through ball to Grealish. Whistle gets blown. They lose their minds. So I personally think they now have it like. If it wasn't an overreaction on the field, I think my team would have lost their shit as well. I think all of our teams. But we all know they're going to use it as an excuse for why they didn't win this game.
Yep.
Yes. No, but it can be an excuse. It can be an excuse because they didn't win the game. Because
no, it's a lazy excuse, man. Because it's
Yes.
not like they didn't have a 100% true goal overturned for non-existent offside
Exactly.
because of just miscommunication.
no.
They got called back on what I thought I saw. It was Grealish was offside anyway, and it's not like he scored. He was still in the midfield, so he had to run all the way to the goal and score, and he
Has
was not
3 defenders.
Yeah, and he was not clear. Like there were people chasing him. So let's not like it's not like they scored 100% goal and the referee just took it away. Yes, it was still a big mistake. He shouldn't have done that. But it's not not comparable to the mistakes each of the other top teams have experienced.
I
No
agree.
comparison.
I agree with all that. It's not a comparison. It's not the reason why they didn't win. I agree 100% that. I mean, from the steals that I saw and I shared in our chat is that Grealish was onside. He would run away. Whether he would score or no, it's not like it's 100% guarantee. It's not like a goal that it didn't count.
Oh, absolutely.
So I agree 100%. It's just I need to put my biases aside towards City. As you all know that I don't like City. I think they are cheating. I think there's been also news about that there's going to be the date has been quietly arranged and next year,
bro.
Next year,
time,
with a decision up to 3 years from now.
For 2025. And then I think it's just Guardiola's going to leave. City's just
exactly.
going to, like, it's not going to be a big problem. But I don't like them. But I have to put my hands up and be like, the refereeing is just abysmal. Like,
abysmal.
It's abysmal. Like, you cannot do it. Like, even if it's City, even you go like, ha ha ha, now you know what everyone else feels. It doesn't change the fact that it is an astonishingly stupid decision.
This is the problem. I agree with you, but they always claim that that's not. I'm like, this is how it feels, City, because you've always had the decision going your way. This is the first time, so that's why I'm like, you know what? It's a lesson learned for you, honestly.
Yeah,
speaking.
For the 3 fans that they have, of course, it's
for the 3 fans. I think that's enough for City. I think the other game, which was also very high scoring, was Bournemouth 2, Villa 2. I have to say, this was one of the best games I've watched. End-to-end attacking. 2 teams, no fear, all risk. It was like...
Are you changing your mind on Bournemouth?
I am beginning to change my mind on Bournemouth. But here's what I will say. It's because he started combining a little bit of defensive structure to the attacking. You can finally tell in defensive phases, they're actually getting very compact. So I think that's why I have a little more hope. But he has to adjust faster. That's the thing. It's like he doesn't have much more time left to pick up points.
They will stay up.
I think
Yeah.
so.
You know who has a low-key having a really nice season? Dominic Solanke, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good
I think
goals,
9 goals.
important goals, just
Yes.
like for Bournemouth. He has like 7 goals in Prem.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
good.
He's been amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to say. But attacking-wise, you can see that they're enjoying their football. Like, when they were playing today, they were doing such confidence tiki-taka, Barcelona 2008 style. Obviously not to that level, but I was like, oh, Bournemouth, well done. But
Yeah.
gotta give credit to Emery. He made some good subs, and they pulled another point out of... It should have been a loss. They should have never been able to retrieve this point, and yet they were able to.
I agree, but I think Aston Villa has investment and a manager that is a level above drawing with Bournemouth away. That's my perception.
Yes, I would agree with that, but also let's not forget, he still hasn't been there a full year. What's his name? Emery. Like
They've been dodgy all around. They've been dodgy. They've been playing so stupidly high line, like we discussed
that, I
last
agree,
time
yeah.
against Newcastle. So he's making like stupid calls sometimes, or not grateful calls, and then drawing with Bournemouth 2-2. I mean, it just screams that they're not going to be
So
in the top 4.
I would have agreed with you. The difference is Europe again. It's because yes, their squad is bigger than like Luton, obviously, but it's not big enough to handle the European travel. You can tell
Yeah.
they're also beginning to tire, and so the next tier. Also, they lost a couple players, like Tyrone Mings is out for the season, and they have a couple other long-term injuries. So you can see all the new people that they replaced are not fully adjusted, and still they're doing this. So I think honestly, they're in the race. Like,
but you have to give a shout out to Ollie Watkins. I think he's on fire.
On fire.
He should be. I mean, it's very difficult to be in the English national team when you have Harry Kane there as a striker, but he should be. He should be on the bench there for sure.
I agree.
What an amazing player!
Amazing.
Yeah.
The last game of this day was West Ham 1, Crystal Palace 1. I have to say, terrible game. This was the antithesis of football. Especially after all the other exciting games where we saw each team scoring minimum 2. This was such a boring, tight. 2 mistakes led to 2 goals. That kind of the game it was.
The good thing is that wasn't the last game, because they also had Chelsea Brighton. Another banger, man.
So let's just jump to that actually. Chelsea Brighton. Chelsea 3, Brighton 2. I have to say, Brighton is tired.
Yeah,
because they should have won this.
And I'm gonna say this: we've been getting some hate from Chelsea fans, but when fair is fair, they do look better than they looked last year.
Yes,
I think they're nowhere near to even being able to compete to top 4. Not even like, I'm not saying title, but they're on the right. They look better. They're still incredibly unbalanced. And because the recruiting has been weird, but they do look better, and Poch is doing a better job than anyone else last year did for them.
Yes. I also think, imagine if they had an actual striker. How much better Poch would be doing with this team. I genuinely look at it and I'm like, a big cause of his current issues is still the number 9 spot.
Yeah, imagine if their striker wasn't too busy trying to get nudes from some mid-level OnlyFans model.
But no, Chelsea. I mean, it doesn't change anything from what Big Liv and I said last time, and YTU as well. Just like that, the top 7 shout that we did, because they are inconsistent. You can't be losing to one team and beating Brighton. It's going to be similar to what I think one of the seasons under that some teams had a couple of years back. They beat all the top sides, but then they lost all to all the minnows and the teams that are on their level, and you end up 8th. So it's on the right path. I agree. They're gonna be in there. It's a good building block, but you can't expect the Champions League next year. And the reason why I'm saying that they're in trouble is because if you don't have Champions League for next year, for the way that they structure their contracts, for the way they structure their deals, it's going to be a massive financial fair play hit on them, and then they also broke the rules, so it's going to be an impact off the field if they don't perform this season.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's funny you say a lot of the things you just said. I would have said the same thing for Brighton. Is like the Europe, I think, is impacting Brighton more than any other team, in my opinion. Yeah. They just looked, I mean, they played against 10 men for most of the game, I think, from basically the entire second half and the end of the first half. And they looked exhausted. Like, they could barely transition. They had so much possession, but the sharpness was just not there. You could see they were really trying, but they just were not physically there.
That's what happens when we have James Miller playing at the back. You know, like you don't expect to win it. James Miller's playing 25 years in the top flight. And his fifth team.
Yeah.
Like the man needs to retire, and he should.
They're not
Yes.
using James Miller correctly.
Yeah.
He should just be a guy for the
Sub.
just do like leadership.
Yes.
He has to come off from the bench. Like you cannot start him anymore.
No.
You cannot start him against fast wingers as a right back or left back. Come on, man.
He's gonna get destroyed.
I think De Zerbi's, again, he's that type of a manager who also doesn't give in on the style of play. That's why there's been a lot of crazy games in the Premier League, because all of these, like I would call them a pack of teams who are not in the top four. It's not the top three, so not Liverpool, not Arsenal, not City, who already have a plan and they know what they're doing. It is the Aston Villas, the Brightons, the Tottenhams. They just don't. They play with their play style, and that's partially why Brighton are struggling, because you cannot be high intensity when you're playing midweek games. You cannot be like, I'm going to be running at people all the time, especially when my leg is falling apart.
Yeah,
You
that's the problem. They've already lost so many players, especially in key positions in the middle of the. I'm like, you have to change something to Zerbi, or you have to have a bigger squad.
Yeah, you need to have a bigger squad, or if you don't change anything, you're just going to get tired. It's going to affect you, because the Premier League, like, it's not like in Europe where you can do it for the first part of the season, and then Europe goes on break. You do Christmas, you put your feet up on the TV, drink coffee, and just not watch any, not play any games. In the Premier League, the games are going to go on and they're going to be the same intensity till the Europe is back, essentially.
Yes.
There's another international break. So if you break down now, it's going to cost you later down the line. You need to manage it better.
Yeah,
we'll see. It's an interesting case.
Yeah, I agree. But at least they qualified in their Europa Conference League or Europa League, so it's a good sign for them.
Yeah.
I think you're right. That was the last game for this game day. Yesterday's game day, there were some decent games. I think there was Arsenal 2, Wolves 0.
No, it was Wolves 1. You missed.
Oh, sorry, you're right. Wolves 1.
This man is just trying to smash some clean sheets for his team. Bro, this is full-on Arsenal fan TV already.
No. It's because I stopped watching at like the 81st minute, and then they conceded it right after I stopped watching.
You said this is in a bag and just walked away, right?
Yes, pretty much. But that's pretty much what I was gonna say. Is like goals we scored the first 15 minutes was Wenger ball, like the true original Wenger ball. There was some incredible, just silky smooth football, but we didn't kill it off. And in the Premier League, I think we've all learned this. 2 goals is not enough to finish a team. You have
sometimes
to have
3 is even not enough.
Yeah, sometimes exactly. So I'm like, if you're on top with 75% possession, you have to score.
Yeah.
We didn't. Surprise, 86 minutes, they scored a goal, and then we had a very shaky last 10 minutes. I'm like, guys, you have to learn your lesson now while we can afford these mistakes. Because City dropped points, so you have to finish these games off.
Yep, I think Arsenal are definitely in it. They're going to be top of the league come Boxing Day games now, and after Boxing Day we'll see who's actually who. I think from the top competitor side, out of all the 3 teams, honestly, I as already a mid-table team fan, I'm going to be supporting Arsenal to beat Chelsea, to beat City and Liverpool. I'm sorry, Big Love, but I'm gonna be on the side of Arsenal just because they have the best chance. I think the more wholesome squad, the more experience. You can see that they're growing into it. Like Arsenal last season could have lost this game.
Yes.
The only places where I'm having doubts is what I told you on the last podcast, is that it irks me of like, this is not May, but it looks like it's an April, March type of game. I would expect this type of results when you need to kill off the game now, and then the 2-0s when it's going to be 2-1 is going to be shaky in March when you're already mentally tired and you're almost there. So that's the only concern I still have for Arsenal, and this result kind of proves.
See, that's very valid, but I think the big thing is we're getting better. That's the thing I think I try to explain to people is like, yes, the score line didn't reflect it, but the last 2.5 games, honestly, we're finally feeling like ourselves from last year. The energy is back. So that's why I'm like, if we're top of the table and we haven't had our energy and we're only going to get better from here, it's a good sign overall for us.
So I have a question. I didn't watch this game. I watched the other banger, which was Burnley Sheffield United. Did Ramsdale start or did Raya start?
No, Raya started, and I have to say, he was amazing. Like some of his distribution, I have to be honest, like it's actually proving the point about dropping Ramsdale, which is crazy to say. But Raya's passing occasionally is so good, it's Ederson like. Like it's Allison like. It's
So
shockingly good.
what's your take on the situation? Because from what it seems, just to give the listeners some context, before the start of the last game, which Arsenal won at Brentford away, there was the international break, and during the international break, Ramsdale's dad went out and just basically told off Arteta on some podcast or whatever it was. And after that, Ramsdale had to start because Ryan couldn't play against his parent team. Ramsdale had a decent result, and now he's on the bench again, which in my mind, it guarantees that Ramsdale is not a first choice goalkeeper.
Yes.
And because his dad speaks out, it's his camp, then he'll have to leave, and he'll look to leave in January because his spot for England is under pressure. What did Arsenal do then? Because you don't have a second goalkeeper, you sold it. You feel that Ramsdale's going to be your second
Honestly, if an offer comes, sell him. That's the truth. The difference is who's going to buy him. So I think they also know there's no big market for him. So I think even if he wanted to leave, no one is willing to pay for him for that price. So it doesn't matter is really the way I think about it. I'm like, you want to stay, stay. If you don't, you don't. But you either have to raise your level or you get dropped. Like, I don't know how else to put it, right? This at the end of the day, we're trying to win the Premier League.
Yeah, I don't think it would be an issue if he was French and then the other guy was Spanish. I mean, nobody would care. It would be just like a debate for one day, just because his English has been.
Yeah, but I think Arteta is immune. Arteta is immune to this criticism, this talk. I think there's no noise coming in from the outside. Like, they're completely protected, honestly speaking. It feels insulated. It feels like they know nothing's going to distract them. So that's why I'm like, you know what? No one cares anymore. Within Arsenal, honestly, I think almost everyone realizes now it's the right decision to do. Like, Raya has just shown himself to be better. So I think that's why it's like less of a conversation.
I think whatever works best for the team should be what it is.
Yeah. I agree. The next game we're going to talk about was it was the battle between the two championship teams. Burnley 5, Sheffield United 0.
I watched that game. It was literally like, I thought it was like, is this the Premier League? Am I on the right channel? Like, it was that type of a game. It was just, my God, the levels are so below everyone else. Even Luton has a better
Yes.
I've watched a couple of Luton games. They were bad, and you can see the progress because I didn't catch. They didn't play. They're playing tomorrow, I believe.
Yes.
I didn't play yet, but last week's result against Crystal Palace, they had some edge to them.
Yes.
But this is just, I mean, the red card didn't help Sheffield United, but Sheffield United look like a championship side trying to survive.
This could have easily been like 13 months ago, the first place Burnley top of the championship against Sheffield United like third in the championship, right?
Yeah.
There has been no elevation in their standards whatsoever.
There's been nothing, and then on top of that, it's not like Burnley scored 5 goals because they were amazing, like silky smooth football, and to say that they were at a different level, they would be just like they have their championships of the championship.
Yes, exactly.
And then Sheffield United is third. That would be the difference if they scored 5 against this team. But it's just because Sheffield United got a red card. It was 2-0. Sheffield United kept themselves in there till the 77th minute. And then they just conceded the third one, and then any hope that they would have
collapse.
Gone. That game could have switched on their head because they put in a striker. I don't know who it was, but he's this lengthy, Peter Crouch looking type of guy. And he's just bad. I was like, how are you a striker, man, in the Premier League? He was just bad. The ball doesn't stay at his feet. He's all over the place. And he had the chance when it was 2-0. It was 1-1, and then he had a header, which he didn't realize, and then the game just turned. And
That's what happens.
And then Sheffield United gave up the play, and then it was 3-4-5.
Yeah.
And the game was done because Sheffield United gave up playing.
Yeah,
if they continued, it would have been 2-0 with a red card. You'd be like, yeah, that's a championship level game.
Yeah. I think Big Lev said it earlier, is he doesn't like the managers who don't change their style. This is truly how I feel about both of these teams. For at least with Sheffield United, I think it's just quality. They just do not have enough quality.
They don't have quality.
I think if he could, he's trying his best. They just don't have the quality. But Burnley, he's not even trying. He's just trying suicide football with Burnley.
Yeah. Yes, 100%. I think it's going to... Burnley, definitely. After watching this game, if Luton stay up, I can see why they did. And I hope it'll help them to stay on further in the Premier League. But these two, I don't see where they stay up from. Like what are they going to come from? Because Sheffield United, they need like an overhaul. They need like 5 or 6 quality Premier League players to even compete. Burnley, they just need a new manager. I think you should.
Yeah, I think they do. But I think Burnley's going to follow a full cycle. I think they're going to get relegated with Company, and he's going to bring them back up, and then that's his second chance. And it's going to be one of those seasons where if he's not doing well in like 2 months in, they're going to fire him because he'll have had 2 chances by then. I think the next game was also relatively interesting. Was Nottingham Forest 0, Everton 1. I have to say, I know there was last week the loss to Man United, which was, I think, really thanks to that bicycle kick by Garnacho. Yep. But Everton looked fantastic. Like, they just looked like a solid unit, very solid win. They never looked particularly in danger. They looked very dangerous attacking. Like, they just look like they're going to survive, honestly speaking.
No, they looked like they're going to survive. And I cut the last minutes of the game, and Nottingham Forest tried to do something. They just couldn't because they looked very solid defensively. They didn't even have a chance to get on goal. That's a good win for Everton. They needed that win. That win is going to help them bounce back. And I think they are going to be back to a certain level. I think they're not going to finish anywhere close to the relegation zone.
I agree.
Just because of the quality that was back there.
Exactly.
And because like you have Crystal Palace is managed. Roy Hodgson was 70 years old. Come on. Like, the man needs to retire. He retired. The Vieira project didn't work, and they're like, how about you come back, old gaff?
Hey, it's working. Mid-table is solid.
But yeah, he is like the mid-table master, and I think Sean Dyche is better than him managerial-wise, and they're going to be up there with Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
No doubts about it.
Yeah.
No doubts about it. And Nottingham Forest as well,
I think
they're
so.
going to be there.
But Nottingham Forest need to start picking up some points. I'm like, guys, some of these losses need to be draws, and some of these draws need to be win.
And they have quality. They have, like, from the 10 minutes that I saw when they tried to muster an attack, they have a good center back that goes forward. They have Hudson-Odoi, who's very good on the ball. They have Gibbs-White, who's also really good on the ball and very athletic. So they have the quality. They just need to, like, it needs to translate into goals.
Yeah, I agree. I think the last game of the weekend we saved for last, just to dull the emotions a little bit, was the Orcs of Newcastle 1 and the losers of Man United 0.
You sad, KG? You sad?
I'm not sad. I mean,
you should be.
I'm disappointed. I'm not sad. I'm disappointed.
I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
Yeah, I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. Just because, like, I don't know from where to start, but point one is that they looked like someone beat them up the day before, and they just like showed up tired, like, because there was no.
They looked like their wives.
No, awful. We do not approve.
Oh,
That's why you don't see me supporting me.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, they just looked very tired. There was no edge to them. There was no creativity, apart from Bruno Fernandes. The midfield with Scott McTominay doesn't work. Like, it just doesn't work. And like, somebody sell the man already. Like, he proved enough that he's worth 30 million. Can you sell him?
No.
And he
scores all those goals, man.
He's a top scorer because nobody else scores, apparently.
Yeah.
Don't you have this striker, Martial, who apparently likes to fight as his manager in the middle of a game?
Why?
Can I just say that Martial needs to be sold? Like, we can all agree, like, he needs to have been gone 5 years ago.
Yes,
like,
but his salary is more than some like La Liga teams combined, like the entire salary for the whole team.
Send him to Saudi Arabia, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
The problem is, like, I couldn't believe they, like, I've been like supporting Ten Hag and saying like firing him won't do anything, but you cannot be like, oh yes, like this is problem, and then you start Martial. Like, no, like, there are some players out there who do not care about you and want you gone. Martial is probably one of them, and like, what are you trying to achieve here? Like, now you look like an idiot. The players already look like idiots. I'm like, this is like, you're in a terrible position where you have to sell all these players, but also kind of have to fire the manager now because he also does not inspire confidence.
No.
Yes, I agree 100%. It's just, Martial should have been gone 5 years ago.
Yeah.
He clearly doesn't care. You cannot fight with your manager. And so I'm not going to say Erik Ten Hag. It's not that I'm calling for his head. I'm not saying that he should be fired today, but the narrative changed. So the previous spell when they were doing bad, I mean they're not doing that bad. It's a draw and a loss, and then a couple of wins on the back. So overall, if you look on a record in a holistic sense,
It's very good.
It's very good. But the narrative changes here, and now I think every United fan now has this a switch that happened in their head, because now they can no longer protect him because of the choices that he made for this game specifically.
Mm-hmm.
The Galatasaray game that was in midweek, they drew, they didn't hold their heads, Onana made a mistake, all of that. But going forward, there's been no questions from United. They've been amazing, especially in the last minutes of the game. And he put on Martial again. I partially think because Hoyun is not fit fully, he's still recovering. And Martial didn't score 100% chance. They had one of the last moments. He just didn't shoot. He decided to do a fake, and then he shot when the defender closed him down, ricochet off the defender to the goalie's hands. So Martial's just a bad striker. And then on top of that, you start him in the next game. Then you do a stupid decision by playing Luke Shaw as a left center back when you have Varane and you have Lindelof fit on the bench. You play Scott McTominay and you leave Kobe Mainoo dead in the water. And then you have Rashford, who didn't play midweek, and you play him on the right, and he looks like he's been playing every day. And
He looks dead.
He looks dead. He doesn't track back. He doesn't do anything forward. He doesn't like playing on the right. Sure, he doesn't like playing on the right. Don't start him on the right. Anthony had a good game in Galatasaray. It boggles my mind why he didn't start him in this game. So all of this now, when you already have the players, it's not like previously you could say, oh, he has a short bench. Like you can't start Facundo Pellistri. You don't have a center back. You don't have a left back. But you had Reguilon. You could have played Reguilon instead of Dalot. Fuck it. You want to play Shaw as center back? Play Shaw as center back, but play a left back at the left back position. The decisions that he made don't make sense, and I think he's losing the players and he's losing the fans. So
Yeah,
if
the
he
whole
doesn't do
the
anything,
whole the whole media, everything. It feels like this is. I was texting. This is the beginning of the end. Is what it felt like
Yes.
for everybody involved.
yes, yes, it seems like this is where it turned. Like before that, fans were on his side and they were like, okay, the team is not good. The players are not the available players are not good. If we had Martinez, if we had this guy, if we had Shaw, now half of them are back. You can still muster a good team.
Yeah.
And you can make sure that they play cohesively. You can make sure that it boggles my mind. Martial had an on burst on the field and you still put him on in the second half. You didn't bench him immediately.
I would have yanked him off so fast when he did that to me.
Yep.
It's the beginning of the end. I think he's walking a tightrope. If he doesn't get his shit together, if he doesn't get the dressing room together, if they're playing midweek against Chelsea and Chelsea is this back and forth now, they win one game, they lose one game, so it's not a guaranteed Chelsea win. I think they're close to each other in terms of form. But if in the midweek Rashford starts again, Martial starts again, Scott McTominay starts again, or Dalot starts as a left back again, you're gonna get fired by January. Like he's gone by January.
Yeah.
That's it.
And it's not because you lose away at Newcastle, which is a very tough game, but because your team looks worse and you have too much drama, and you cannot do that when you've been given more year and more money and more support, and now it looks like you just can't figure it out versus you just need time to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to say a couple things to note though about this game was both Newcastle and United had some truly youngsters on the field. Obviously, Kobe Mainoo was there for United, and I think Lewis Smiley was there for Newcastle. And they both, I was shocking. They both looked so composed on and off the ball. Like Mainoo was stranded in the midfield, trying to cover so much space with Rashford, with Fernandez. They were covering truly half the field each. They were covering. Impressive, I have to say. His confidence on the ball, his defensive instincts, his tracking. I was like, kid, this is not your fault. You're actually showing your colors. Like, this could be something that's a positive that comes out of all this, is that you find a gem within your academy, like a true midfielder.
The only good thing that can happen after this is if any sort of change comes in terms of the club structure and they bring an actual director of football, they can give him a proper wage and grow him properly. Don't give him a fat paycheck immediately, and don't let him forget and get his head in the clouds, and he can gradually become a star. Because look at Rashford. Like,
Yes, exactly.
whoever says that finally the pundits had enough, like the Roy Keanes and the Jamie Carragers of the world. I don't know if you saw the segment. They went in quite hard on Rashford because he's a local man, he's a local boy. He needs to be an example of what it is to play for the club, which I 100% agree. But the problem with Rashford and the problem why he is like that is because he got a fat paycheck. Because
Yeah.
last season he was playing for his salary, he got that 10% raise that he wanted or 50% raise that he wanted, and now he's chilling. He doesn't care what's going to happen because he's the face of Man United. They don't dare to touch me. Eric Ten Hag can be gone by December. I've seen it all of for all of Rashford's career. If you just look at the career trajectory, he's been around where the manager would get sacked. He's
Yep.
never been around a stable manager. He came in with Louis van Gaal, and now this is his fourth manager. So
they just cycle, come in and out. But that's just a symbol of the Man United as a whole structure's weakness, honestly speaking. Interesting times, I have to say, with Ten Hag, to be honest.
We'll see what's going to happen with Chelsea in midweek. He can also turn it around if
exactly.
If he needs to make difficult decisions, and he's part of that same manager group that Big Love mentioned that is very stubborn in what he does. So he might as well put the same starting 11. He did that at the beginning of his career.
That would be crazy.
That would be crazy. Even more crazier is that you don't play Varane.
But the thing is, obviously, him and Varane have fallen out. It's just not public. But I think it's just like clearly something has gone on between them.
Yes, and you don't do it with Varane. You play him on, you sell him later. You don't do it. You don't do it with Varane. Even if Harry Maguire is doing well, you just don't do it with Varane.
Varane is a 4-time Champions League winner.
So he is walking the tightrope. We'll see. I think the Chelsea result is going to show this is the next step. Whichever step he takes, the direction is going to go there. Yeah.
I think 2 more games we should talk about was the top of the league and the Bundesliga. Bayer Leverkusen 1, Dortmund 1. I will say, I watched this game. There's not much to say. Unbeaten run continues for Bayer Leverkusen, but it was just a very boring game, in all honesty.
It seemed like both teams were tired from midweek.
Exactly. Once again, these midweek games are really showing. It's just, because I've seen quite a few Leverkusen games, they just had no energy whatsoever. Even the crowd felt flat, to be honest.
I think the problem with the midweek games, in my honest opinion, is that there's a lot of midweek games, and then it's been like, it's not going to be like that, obviously, till the end of the year, but previously it was international play. So as soon as they got to the rhythm of like, oh, we're going to play midweek as well, and their body got used to it, it would stop. And that ruins the whole flow, and is just not good for the players.
Yeah, I agree. I think the more interesting game was actually in Serie A, where Napoli lost again at 0-3 against Inter. Honestly, as bad as Napoli looked, Inter looked just as good, if that makes sense. A team that plays as a team versus clearly a team that had a defense, a midfield, and an attack that felt like they didn't know each other whatsoever. Napoli.
What you want to say, White, is that 3-0 justifies the game?
Oh, honestly, the goals that Inter scored were such spectacular team goals where they were, some of them were transition goals, some of them were possession goals, one of them was a counter attack. Everything was just pure quality from Inter Milan.
Calhanoglu's goal was amazing. It was, what a shot. It's unstoppable. Like, you can't
unstoppable. But the Barella pass to him, the fact that Barella obviously must have gotten a shot, but still, that's a team thing. Like, any other midfielder could have taken the shot and said, oh, my bad, I had a good angle. Instead, he gave it to the best long shooter, probably in international football, is Hakan himself, right? Truly stunning. The only weakness, honestly, was that Lautaro missed 3 or 4 goals.
Lautaro was... Yeah, he was off this game. Lautaro. He had a lot of chances where he's like, it's a team organized an opportunity for him to take a shot, and then he would just sky. He has that in him.
He had cleaned it up this entire year. This is the first game, honestly, I've seen him do such bad mistakes. I was like, Lautaro, they are feeding you. Last week you'd have scored 2 of these. Like, what is good? Yeah. But overall,
if Napoli was better, and those are their only chances they Inter created, it would have been. They would have lost this game because he didn't take his chances.
Yeah, exactly. But I have
Yeah.
to say, I feel bad for Kvara and Osimhen. They look stranded on an island by
Yeah.
themselves.
Yep, Napoli had a terrible summer, man. That's why, because they spent most of their money buying out Simeone, who was kind of meh, and
Yeah.
then they lost like a good defender, didn't replace him. They
That
just
his replacement made a
yeah
stupid mistake for the third goal.
Yeah.
He
yeah
just left the man stranded, didn't go
Oh
with him.
yeah.
Just
Both
like
Juan Jesus and Nathan, they're
yeah,
such a step down from the
yeah,
usual, and it's just.
yep
But the problem is, they still have this magic occasionally. Just
yeah,
that they cannot transition from defense to attack. It's like you watch
yeah.
it and you just don't understand. I'm like, what is it? What that's so different that you are literally unable to string more than two passes in a row?
Incohesiveness. But just a shout out Barella's goals. I think
Oh,
the best of the
the
league.
best.
What a goal! What a
Twinkle
goal by Barella.
feet.
Yeah, yeah. Truly
But
amazing.
also, the cross from Martinez was intentional. Like everything about
Yeah,
it was planned. Like,
yeah, yeah.
stunning.
And I can't believe that they're competing with Juventus for the Serie A.
Yeah.
It boggles my Juventus won Monza
Oh,
again by a
terrorist
sheer
football.
magic. Like Monza equalized on the 87th minute, and then they scored the second one on 90 plus 3. And I was like, how do you score? Like, how is Juventus in it? They're so bad. Like,
They're so bad, but they keep 1-0 to the Juventus. They
if
just
they
keep
win,
pulling it out.
if they win Serie A, it's just going to be the biggest steal
Oh,
of
no.
the century.
I think Inter is just too strong, honestly. Inter look
They
imperious.
drew
Like,
with them last.
yeah,
last
but that
week.
game I watched, they were just, neither team was really going for it. They were playing for a draw.
We'll see well enough. I just don't hope it's not Juventus Inter till the end of the year.
Oh God, I hope so.
Uh,
I figured we would wrap up on doing a Euros draw review of all the teams, and we'll talk about VAR the week after because we have a slow week next week.
Yeah.
I figured, boys, we'll go through each group, and I would want your quick reaction to who you think goes top and like passes through.
Ooh.
So I'll read out the groups. Group A has Germany, Scotland, Hungary, and Switzerland. Thoughts?
but I think like Germany has to go through because they've been shit in the last few competitions. So
Yeah.
it's only so far that people will be understanding before they go full on fucking invade France and do all the shit they did before. So I'm gonna say Germany and Switzerland, even though Scotland has been looking really good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Germany.
Yeah.
Like Switzerland is like always just sneakily
Solid. Yeah, exactly.
solid and like organized and like have Shaqiri and all the others.
But
you know?
Switzerland, I think their team is aging and they don't have anyone new. They have Akanji, yeah, okay, good, but then they don't have anyone else going forward.
They never have anyone like even Shaqiri is not really like
No, but
someone.
Shaqiri was in his
yeah.
peak. Shaqiri is
Yeah.
now like a little fat man running around Chicago. Like he's not. He's not. I think Switzerland finally maybe this is where they're always. I agree with him. They're always tight and they always go through and provide amazing football. I just think they don't have not enough new blood and a lot of time has passed for their thing to age. I don't think Scotland is gonna go through. Honestly, I don't. I think Germany should, and I think Hungary is gonna. People sleep on Hungary. They have
Interesting.
really good football. Really good
interesting.
football.
I have to be
So-
honest. I'm with Big Lad. I think it's going to be Germany and Switzerland. I still think they have enough in the tank.
No,
One
we'll
last
see.
year.
We'll see. There's only half a year left.
One last time, you gotta give it to me.
Oh my
Gotta
goodness.
celebrate.
It's terrible. That's pretty good actually. Group B: Spain, Croatia, Italy, and Albania.
Bro,
Oh.
Albania top of the group.
Yeah.
You hear it here first. Mortgage your house, put all the money on Albania.
This is like an NFT. This is just a gambling. We agree it has to be one of Spain, Croatia, Italy. But
Yeah.
I'm going honestly Spain and Italy. I think Croatia is done.
Yeah,
I
same.
think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be Spain and Croatia, just because Italy got in on a technicality
Yeah,
because
that's
the
true.
referees decided not to give them a penalty to Ukraine,
Yeah.
and then usually the holders stay in the group. That type of voodoo shit because they are the holders. I don't think they're gonna do a two-peat with the way they've been playing, and their team is. It's a lot of young blood that nobody quite knows, and Barella, and yeah,
So
I think Croatia may just survive because they have a blend of good young players and older players. They just lack in that striker position, but I
Yeah.
think their midfield is solid. I think still Kovacic, Modric, Brozovic.
Yeah,
Still
it's a very
can
quality team,
very
honestly.
quality. I think
Yeah.
they're gonna edge Italy.
Interesting. Oh, good call. All right. Group
Yeah.
C, Slovenia, Denmark, Serbia, and England. Obviously, we might as well just say England plus one of them, right?
England and Denmark. Not one of them. England.
Denmark or Serbia. Serbia is also decent.
Yeah, Serbia's also this. They have Mitrovic, they have Vlahovic. They have
Yeah.
they play 4-4-2 with Mitrovic and Vlahovic
Yeah.
up top. But sometimes they lack quality in other places.
Yeah, but how many of their players came back from the dead? 0. Okay. You can't mess with the ghost power, bro.
I don't know if Eriksen's gonna play even. I mean, if he's gonna survive till.
Okay, so he's gonna play for the clubs, but not his country.
Nah, he's been very injured already. Second time he's out injured.
He's actually just resting, honestly, but that's what he's doing.
I don't think Slovenia has it in them.
Obviously,
Denmark has a good young squad, and they've been good the last Euros, 2021. England obviously.
Yeah, because power of ghosts, man.
Yeah. I would agree. I would agree with Bill if it's Denmark and England, but low key, I want England to stay in the group because they need to fire Southgate.
Oh my God, that would be the worst ending.
Bro, Southgate.
Yeah.
I've never seen someone ride the luck train so much.
Dude, the best squad imaginable, and
it's not the luck train. It's not. So I just wanted to say, it's not a luck train. It's calculated risk avoidance. Like it's calculated. He has the biggest talents in the world that could play a combined style of City, Liverpool, and Arsenal, and be like this super machine that he can do because all of these star players are star players in their respective teams. So you know that they can play in that way. He just goes like, okay, I'm going to play 5 at the back, 2 defensive midfielders. We're not conceding a goal, and then Harry Kane's just going to score.
Please, Harry, go score.
Yeah, please, Harry, go. So I hope he gets fired because you cannot, like, the sheer incompetence of being a manager.
Terrorist football.
He should go to the Pizza Hut commercial.
Terrorist football. All right, let's do the next group, which is Group D is the playoff winners, and then Netherlands, Austria, France. I think we can all say it doesn't even matter who the playoff winner are. It's going to be France and Netherlands, probably.
Bro, I would say yes, but the Netherlands have been so frustrating.
Yeah.
Like the latest generation of Dutch people, like they're like individually great players, and then like they kind of like they're when they play. Like they've been fine in like the playoffs. I think.
But they're gonna pass the group, right?
Bro, I don't know. Like Poland could
Poland has been they've been really bad recently because Lewandowski's aged and that was their main output and I don't know. Yeah. Who do you think is going to get out of the playoff wins?
From Poland, Estonia, Wales, Finland, Estonia? Honestly, I would say either Wales or Poland are going to get through.
I think the second Estonia will get out.
Yes, I think the second Estonia is going to make it. I think they recently had a split. Yeah, North and South Estonia are banging them out. So.
Oh my God.
I mean, I think Poland, but Wales. I think Poland will probably be.
Yeah, I think Poland or Wales have the most quality.
Yeah, Poland or Wales have the most quality in them. Yeah. Whichever team is it, because they really are on the same level.
Yes.
I don't think they're not. It's not the answer. I think it's France with Kylian. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. So Group E is Belgium, Slovakia, Romania, and then the playoff winners of Group B, which is Israel, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Ukraine, and Iceland. I have to be honest.
What is this group, bro?
Very weak teams.
Very weak.
Yeah.
Very weak. Even Belgium
let's do. I think so. In terms of playoffs, probably Ukraine edges everyone else out there.
I think so. I agree.
They should have already been in there, like fucking bullshit. And then probably Belgium is like clear.
Yeah.
Winner top of the group. I would say Belgium and Ukraine. Out of that.
I would agree with that as well.
I'm gonna go Belgium and Slovakia are gonna edge it because Slovakia is also they have more quality than Slovenia.
That's true.
And their players they have a good striker, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Interesting.
Belgium is gonna get out of the group, but they're not gonna go.
No, they're not gonna do well at all.
Yeah,
they're done.
Yeah. Slovakia has, I think, Sasa Kalajic, I think. If I'm not mistaken.
Good call.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so.
Because Slovenia has. What's it called? The other guy, who's Sesko.
Oh, Sesko.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they all have like a up and coming Haaland-esque striker. Belgium's not going to go further than out.
No,
they're going to go.
No.
after.
I agree.
But yeah, I
Um,
agree with because Ukraine edges it.
Exactly. I'm with you as well. And then the last group, which is Group F, which is Turkey, Portugal, Czech Republic, and then the winner of Group C, which is Georgia, Greece, Kazakhstan, and Luxembourg.
Bro, Georgia top of the group. We're going all the way, baby. Back with the Ballon d'Or. We're winning it, all that.
Man.
I think Georgia can get out of that playoff.
Yes, I think they can too.
I mean, Greece is the favorite probably, but
Definitely.
other than that, Georgia could edge it. If it's Greece versus Turkey in Group F, that's gonna be spicy.
Yeah, that's true. That's gonna be amazing.
Big
I
Love
mean-
Lux's group spicy, bro.
And also, it's gonna be the deaf group because it's Portugal, Czech Republic, or all solid,
Who does Czech Republic?
teams.
Most
They
of them
have,
play in the Bundesliga. I know.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of them.
Patrick Schick is their striker.
Oh yeah, it is.
Eh.
Solid.
So,
It's a decent team.
They have a solid.
Yeah.
Most of them play in the Bundesliga, so they have quality. Turkey also has quality.
Yeah.
Portugal obviously has the
Yeah.
biggest whiner in the world. So whoever's going to go in terms of playoffs, both either if it's Georgia or Kazakhstan, so it's 50% of the chance of the two teams. I'd be happy. I'd be supporting them to be there, but
They're probably
realistically,
lost. Yeah.
yeah. But realistically, out of that pot is going to be Greece. Unfortunately.
Yeah, if they come up, they're gonna pass. Like there's the shit house their way into
Yeah,
another.
they're gonna because they're just shithouseries. But I think
Yeah.
who's gonna win that group is tough to say.
Portugal.
Yeah, I definitely
Portugal should, but who's gonna be second? Nobody knows.
No, Portugal's obviously
Yeah.
gonna win it.
Yeah.
I think that's a wrap for us as far as games are concerned. Next week we will talk about VAR.
Do a quick prediction from here. Arsenal played
I don't want to
away.
do prediction. We haven't predicted a single thing right, man.
That is a good point. But so I think Arsenal is obviously going to take that by
Okay.
4 goals.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
A couple
Aston
of
Villa
weeks
play
ago.
Aston Villa play Man City at home.
City's gonna win, bro. They drew 3 straight. I think you can only hope for so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Brighton Brentford. Brighton at home.
Brighton.
I think Brighton will finally edge it. The thing is, they're very tired, and Brentford doesn't play European games, so I think Brentford is going to be able to attack them, to be honest.
United Chelsea. United at home.
Bro, it's like 2-2 or something. It's gonna be one of those games.
Yeah, it's going to be a very good game.
I think it's gonna be a draw because
Something
United.
weird's gonna happen again. Like 1 or 2 goals will be like so stupid that you're gonna be just like out here raging again next week.
Yes, 100. That's exactly what's going to
I
happen.
don't know how it's gonna finish, but my prediction is that you're gonna be bitching and moaning about something next week.
And that's a wrap. I think it's good. I think United are definitely going to go draw because we're the undrawables. 0 draws in the league.
That's crazy. Honestly, imagine you finish the season with a 0 draws after 38 games. That would be stunning.
Yeah,
What a way
15
to
wins
end.
and then a lot of losses.
Oh my goodness. All right, I think that's a wrap. We'll see you guys next week, and we will do 2 match days reviewed together.
Yeah, stay hydrated. Hit the gym. Games don't sleep.
Games don't sleep. Bye, guys.
Bye.